A very good evening and welcome to Friday night's edition of Primetime News. I'm Ramesh Galbandar.
And I'm Gayatri Gunratna. We start off with a look at the headlines.
President says the country's economy was destroyed in the past by economic assassins posing as advisors. The Janata Vimukti Peramana charges that low-quality petroleum has been imported without adhering to tender procedure. Petroleum Minister says disciplinary action will be taken against those responsible if it is found that low-quality petroleum has been imported. Upali Dharmadasa appointed as the new chairman of the Sri Lanka Cricket Interim Committee.
Now for those stories in detail, President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the country's economy was destroyed in the past by economic assassins who posed as advisors. The President made this statement while addressing a function organised to celebrate the 50th anniversary of People's Bank.
The function was organised at Temple Trees this morning. Speaking at the event, the President said that during the tenure of those economic assassins, they attempted to close down People's Bank as a bankrupt state institution.
ආර්ථික ඝාතකයින්ගෙන් බේරිලා අපිට දුර ගමනක් යන්න තියෙනවා.
We have a long journey to forge ahead, protecting ourselves from these economic assassins who are waiting for a chance. We should not forget the fact that there is a group amongst us who spread rumors with the aim of destroying the economy by stating that the country will go bankrupt. I think it is a great strength that we were able to develop the economy to this level when the world economy collapsed, banks collapsed, and people were being thrown out of their workplaces.
අදාද්දි අපි මේ තත්ත්වයට ගොඩ නැගෙන්න ලැබීමක් මහත් ශක්තියක් වශයෙන් මා දකිනවා.
A 1,000 rupee coin that was created in view of the 50th anniversary of People's Bank was also issued today. In addition, the commemorative stamp and the first day cover that was issued were presented to the President by Minister of Postal Services, Jeevan Kumaratunga.
Minister of Petroleum Industry Susil Premajanta states that disciplinary action will be taken against those concerned if investigations confirm that low-grade petroleum was imported without adhering to standard procedure. Meanwhile, the JVP charges that this situation has arisen due to the importation of 20,000 metric tons of fuel which has been imported by the ministry without following proper procedures.
When news first toured the streets of Colombo today, we were able to notice that many motorists were inconvenienced due to the poor quality petrol that was being sold.
The fuel pump is gone. I installed a new one. Even that is dysfunctional now. The vehicle has been brought to the garage again. It costs 39,000 rupees to repair this. The old petrol was removed and new fuel was pumped. Now even the newly installed pump doesn't work. This pump was removed yesterday and was repaired, but by today it's not working again. The minister said there is no water in the fuel. Our vehicles stall. We have to spend enormous amounts. You cannot run on water. The trishaw stops everywhere it goes.
Most of the consumers facing this dilemma are those who use the 90-octane fuel. During the refining process, another variety of fuel of a higher propensity is added. The percentage mix thus determines the octane reading. Responding to a query made by us, a mechanical engineer stated that 90-octane petrol does not produce water particles when ignited. Hence, he stated that if it is confirmed that traces of water are present in petrol, a proper investigation should be carried out to determine its cause. Motor technicians state that due to the use of substandard petrol, the ignition system of vehicles may be compromised. They further state that petrol-driven vehicles manufactured after the year 2000 may be the most affected by this situation. Meanwhile, Petroleum Minister Susil Premajanta stated that taking into consideration the situation which has arisen subsequent to the renovation of the refinery complex, a sudden decision was reached to purchase 20,000 metric tons of fuel as per standard tender procedures.
According to the information I have been provided with, prior to unloading fuel, every fuel tanker is inspected in 2 locations. They have deemed that the specifications of this tanker were correct.
The Secretary to the Ministry took an arbitrary decision to import 20,000 metric tons of fuel from a company. It is with responsibility that we state that no tender was called to purchase this 20,000 metric tons of petrol. A certain amount of this was bought and tested in the Colonnava lab. Subsequently, it was certified that it did not confirm the proper standards. A test carried out in the lab determines if this petrol is suitable for distribution. It is with responsibility that we state that this 20,000 metric tons of fuel had not been tested by the Sapugaskanda lab prior to its distribution. Once it was issued, problems began cropping up. After that, a sample was sent to the refinery lab. The technicians there say that this substance is not petrol, it is something else. On the 14th of June, all fuel storage tanks in Muturajawala were empty. Fuel supplies were down in Kolonnava. There was no fuel in Muturajawala. The Secretary of the Ministry is telling the media about a shutdown in Sapugaskanda. Even if there was a shutdown and relevant notifications were made and the fuel tanker had arrived, as it does once every 21 days in accordance with standard procedures, and orders were placed, this situation would not have arisen. The Secretary of the Ministry, who has undertaken the responsibility of the Ministry, should take the blame for not importing fuel until it reached the last litre. The relevant officials should apologise to the people of the country as well as the consumers.
Meanwhile, a media release issued by the Ministry's Media Secretary quotes Subject Minister Susil Premajanta as saying that the fuel consignment in dispute conformed to proper standards as deemed by the laboratory. Tests carried out on it. The release further states that none of the employees who had expressed their views to the media regarding the disputed shipment of fuel had been given any transfers.
The United National Party staged a protest in Alpedia Galle today. The protest was named the People's Uprising Against the Suppression of the Government.
The UMP supporters convened at their party office in Alpedia at around 3 this evening. They commenced their protest march and subsequently arrived at the Alpedia town. The first phase of this protest, which is named People's Uprising Against the Government Suppression, was held in Colombo recently. Several senior members of the UMP addressed those gathered.
We arrived here after passing the Bentara bridge without any difficulty. Furthermore, in the future we will travel across all bridges in the country because we will travel around the island. At this occasion, I would like to say that this post cannot be stopped by thuggery, by threatening, iron rods or even by wooden poles.
These are the views expressed by the UMP media spokesperson.
We said that we will take the stage where everyone is here. Today, both of our deputy leaders have arrived here. Our deputy leader Sajith Premadasa has also arrived here. A ruling party parliamentarian in the district issued a challenge to the UNP to organize a protest across the Bentara River and said that if it is organized, that we will be chased away. We accepted this challenge. I would like to emphasize that I accepted the challenge to organize this in Alpedia, as it is the first city that is found after crossing the Bentara River.
Meanwhile, at a recent meeting, United People's Freedom Alliance parliamentarian Nishantha Muthuhettigama expressed his views about the UMP's protest.
A protest will be held during the morning hours on the 1st of next month in Alpedia, challenging Nishantha Muthuhettigama. I will travel to Alpedia on the 1st with a group of about 7,000 to 8,000 to challenge them. The police should not come. If they do, then everything will be messed up.
Attempts made by News First on several occasions to contact parliamentarian Nishantha Muthuhettigama proved futile. When News First inquired from Nishantha Muthuhettigama's wife as to his whereabouts, she said that she is at home and is unaware about his whereabouts.
General secretaries and party leaders of opposition parties say that civil law needs to be enforced to hold an election in the local government bodies in the northern province. They expressed this view to the media subsequent to holding a discussion with the Elections Commissioner Mahinda Deshapriya today.
General secretaries of political parties met Elections Commissioner Mahinda Deshapriya at the Elections Secretariat in Wajigiriya today.
Commission of Elections doing a meeting with respective recognized political party secretaries. So far there is no serious complaints made to the police.
A person with disabilities has the opportunity to send a different individual to the polling centre and cast his vote. This is a legal decision that has been taken. It is the law enforced in the south which also prevails in the north. Therefore, we discussed that we cannot engage in election activities subject to military rule. The Elections Commissioner said that steps will be taken in this regard after informing the Defence Secretary.
A program was held today to brief UMP activists in local government institutions in the Western Province. This program was held at the party headquarters, Sirikota.
The program was attended by a group of parliamentarians including UNP's national organizer Ravi Karunanayaka. The Pradesh Sabha member and the urban councillor are very important. It is you who know the views of the village. It is you who get scolded first when we make a mistake. Furthermore, it is you who hear the good and the bad. If you keep a close contact with our communication sections, it will be a great strength to us. Today, the army headquarters has been sold without calling for tenders and 100% tax-free. Due to this, the government has caused a loss to the country amounting to 29 billion rupees. Tenders were not called for any of this. The money that should go to the government accounts is going directly into the accounts of the Urban Development Authority. As we speak, a decision has been reached to break 65,800 houses in the Colombo municipality in the Colombo district without providing alternative land.
ගෙවල් 65800ක් කඩන්න මේ තීන්දුව කළා තිබෙනවා. කිසිම විකල්ප ඉඩමක් දෙන්නේ නැතුව